Greetings, staff. Because we are going to engage in park training during our staff meeting time, we have several announcements and information items that we want to share. So we are flipping our staff meeting for this Wednesday. So let's get started. Our agenda, we're going to look at the park schedule. That's actually attached to the email that contained the link to this video. We're going to talk a little bit about band sectionals and the protocol for sectionals. We want to review or talk a little bit about our 360 administrative evaluations that took place earlier this year. I want to give you access to the 2014-15 SIP document, some reminders about the recognition rally, our breakfast, and then also the technology tip for this month. So if we look at the park schedule again, there is a PDF of the schedule attached to the email, which contain the link to this video. So please take some time to go in and look at that. You're going to want to look at your grades specifically if you're a grade level teacher. If you're a related arts, world language, or PE teacher, obviously you're going to want to look at where you're teaching your classes. As we created this schedule, we had several constraints to contend with as we put things together. And I realized that at the last staff meeting, we said we were going to try and come up with options and then have you give us some feedback on those options. Unfortunately, there really just weren't a lot of options available. This schedule that you see in front of you is a conglomeration of probably about 7 schedules that we came up with as a team, and it's really the one schedule that works best. So while we can possibly make some tweaks within the schedule, this is going to essentially be our schedule. So some of the constraints that we're working with is the fact that we need to share devices with Highcrest Middle School. So that limits the amount of time that we have to get the testing done. We don't necessarily have the entire testing window, which is 1 month. We have limited bandwidth, which allows us to test one grade level at a time. So either 7th grade or 8th grade can test at one time, and we wanted an entire grade level to test at one time. We didn't want to be testing half of 7th grade, and then the other half of 7th grade, and half of 8th grade, and the other half of 8th grade. We really wanted to maximize the testing. We wanted to finish testing with time for makeups, so that's why we tried to get all the testing done here within 1 week. We wanted to obviously maintain the integrity of the contract and schedule people for no more than 6 contact periods with their students. We wanted to make sure that everyone was able to maintain a 40-minute duty-free lunch. It's important to us to have homeroom teachers proctor, so that's the way we have the schedule set up. If you have questions about the schedule, please let me know or let lawyer Amy know, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. You could also talk to your BLC reps. We had an extensive conversation about the park schedule in BLC. So take a look at the schedule. Let us know if you have questions. We've been having conversations at BLC and at various other levels about sectionals. And when it comes to sectionals, I think flexibility is the key. The first step when it comes to sectionals is to read the sectional schedule. Each Friday, the band teachers will put out the sectional schedule that lists when kids are going to be pulled for their sectional. They have adjusted that schedule to also include the teams next to the kids' names, so you can very quickly go down. If you're an 8A teacher, you can find the 8A kids and figure out whether or not that kid is in your class. It's much easier. Likewise, we're going to post a hard copy in the mailroom, similar to what we've done with the discipline report that we print off regularly. So there's a place that you can get the electronic copy in your email inbox, and also a hard copy in the mailroom. If you go through the schedule on Friday when you get it and you see an issue, oh my gosh, I need my kid there on this Thursday and they have a sectional, please email both Kim and Ann because there is some sharing of kids that goes on, and they will work to make adjustments. It's important, though, to continue to try and be flexible, and I realize that every class is important and it's difficult to miss kids, but that level of flexibility is important. Often we hear from teachers that it's not the test that they're so much worried about kids missing, because tests can be made up. It's that instructional piece that comes before, so we get that. And if it is a test on the day that they have their sectional, please know that they can make up that test in homework club, rather. Again, the goal is to communicate early and often. If you see that there's an issue early on, please let Kim and Ann know, and adjustments can be made. 360 evaluations. So earlier in the year, we had several staff members who completed some evaluations for us, which we've been kind of analyzing the data and going through that data, and we've found it really very, very helpful. There were three main areas of focus for the entire administrative team, 5-8. And these are things that we're going to be working on as an administrative team. And the first was actually visibility. Teachers had said they want to see us in classrooms more, in the cafeteria more, in the hallways more. So we're really going to make a conscious effort to do that. We've got some tracking systems that we're going to be putting in place, and some accountability systems for us that we're going to be putting in place to ensure that we are that have that high level of visibility. The other piece of feedback that we got is that teachers want to be able to kind of do what they did with the 360 more often. So we've created some feedback surveys that we're going to distribute to staff through staff meetings 3 times between now and the end of the year. So I believe we're going to do that in February, maybe March and May. And that will kind of be a mid-course check-in, and we can see how we're doing as far as visibility, having greater focus on the SSU, just every area of that 360. And then the third area was having the SSU feel more a part of our school. So there was some definite feedback about ways that we can help the SSU members feel more participatory in some of the decisions that are made and some of the things that we do at school. So we're working with the SSU leadership on that. And the SSU is the support staff union, so secretaries, custodians, cooks, and paraprofessionals. The SIP document was presented at the Board of Education last night. Honestly, the items that are on the SIP plan are essentially what's in the strategic plan. What we found is that strategic plan has become so comprehensive and so extensive that having building level goals really isn't feasible, because there's so much that we're doing at a district level that impacts our school that we can't necessarily put some of those building specific goals on the SIP plan and do them with integrity. So we've really moved away from that piece and really are focusing on the pieces that are in the strategic plan. I have attached a PDF copy of the SIP plan to the email that included the link to this video. So if you want to go and check that out, feel free. The video to our presentation is also online and available through the district website if that's something you're interested in watching. Just a recognition rally reminder. Remember, we do have a recognition rally Friday. Please make sure when you're bringing your kids down that you are listening to be called down. We call teams down, so be listening to the announcements for your team to be called down. Please enter through the appropriate doors. So we want the 7th grade to be entering through that northwest door that's kind of by those the doors where the kids leave for recess or where they leave for the buses. And then we want the 8th grade to enter in the southeast door, which is kind of closer to the fitness room, closer to the art rooms. At this first recognition rally, this is one where we have kind of fewer groups that we're recognizing, so we have a little bit more time for relay races and silly games and stuff like that. If you're interested in being in a silly relay race and you are a particularly great hula hooper or something like that, let me know. And we'll maybe put a staff team together to compete against the kids, which could be fun. You can email me and let me know. Our low tech tip for the day, and we try and have some tech tips at every staff meeting, but it's hard to do if you're not kind of face-to-face with people. So in our video low tech tip for the day is about keeping ourselves healthy. And I think it's there is a bunch of different strains of flu going around and colds and some kind of nastiness going around. We've been having actually more kids out now than we have had in any single kind of week all year, which is mainly due to illness. So just keeping in mind that iPads are touched surfaces, that kids are often maybe touching their faces or not keeping their hands very clean or putting fingers in their mouth or other places, and then touching their iPad. And then often teachers will go to help kids and will touch their iPad. Now they'll transfer those germs from the iPad onto your hands, which then increases your possibility of your chances of getting sick. So we want to encourage kids to keep their screens clean and wiping those screens down. As an adult, you want to use hand sanitizer after touching a kid's iPad, and I would encourage kids to be washing their hands regularly and using hand sanitizer. The way I like to think of student iPads is like touching the doorknob in the bathroom. It's kind of gross, I realize that, but you really want to try and keep your hands clean after touching a surface like that. Holiday breakfast information. We will host our annual holiday breakfast tomorrow in the lounge. We'll make some delicious waffles and have all of the kind of fixings that go along with those. If possible, we'd love to have a staggered consumption schedule. So if you're a teacher who teaches first period and has to rush off to first period, we'd like you to have the opportunity to eat first. And if you are related arts, world language, PE, or you don't teach first period, so 7D would go into that category as well. If we can ask you to eat either later in the morning or into first period, that would be great. And it would kind of help us to make sure that everybody has time to get their breakfast. And finally, we want to wish you a very happy holiday, restful, relaxing holiday, and plenty of time with family. So if you have any questions about anything that you read or heard here, please let me know or let one of your GLADs. Thanks.